Wolves fans, get ready. Join us for a Michelob Ultra Wolves watch party at Wild Boar and Bar and Grill in Oakdale on November 26th. Come hang out with KFAN's own Max Fuller from 7 to 9 p.m. and register on site to win awesome prizes, plus enjoy food and drink specials while you cheer on the Wolves. Don't miss out. Get all the details at KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
You know, to answer your question, Tommy, I don't think I'd be happy.
So what just happened is, I'm normally in here during Tommy's confessional in the other room.
Yeah.
So I walk in, we're BSing about other things, and then Tommy just off the top rope asks a question that came out of nowhere, and I'm like, is this how these normally go? And they're all like, yes, this is exactly how these go.
This is it.
I'm like, Jesus.
So, no,
I got to get out of here.
Are the questions like, have you ever?
Oh, no, it's
So
like...
we're way beyond
Let's
that.
just say it was a scenario that was extremely graphic and something that Chris would not be interested in. And Tommy goes, yeah, but if you woke up in the morning, would you be happy or sad?
I'm going to tell you what.
Why would I be happy about that?
You heard the whole scenario, Corey.
I did.
The least likely part of that whole thing was me being in a club. The rest of it could happen, sure.
Or that person still being there in the morning.
And again,
you didn't find out.
at some point, I'm probably going to say, I'm pretty sure those are testicles.
Yeah. No one needs to know about this.
Okay, quick follow-up, though, but does that make you happy or sad? What a question, Tommy.
And how was the club?
It wasn't would you do it? It's would it make you happy or sad if you found that out? Oh, man, Tommy.
Anyway,
Tommy, do you go to therapy?
No.
You probably should. That's number one. Number two,
no.
Because I feel like if you did go to therapy, this is your testing the waters to see what you should say to your therapist.
Yeah.
Because if everybody here's like, no, that's totally normal. That's cool, man. But if we're like, dear God, then you go to your therapy and go, Power Trip doesn't think that I'm normal. Are they right?
Yeah.
They laughed really hard when I asked this question.
They all deleted
What's
my
wrong
phone
with
number.
me? Anyway, all right, let's talk college
all right,
football.
let's talk. This would normally be the news brought to you by Zecca.
World Juniors. WorldJuniorsMN26.com. Get your tickets right now.
Right now. Thank you.
Yeah, do it.
Thank you, World Juniors. Yeah. Let's just talk college football, man. So what's up?
Well, we have on the college football slate. We'll go to the Gophers after this. It's generally kind of a down weekend, Hawk. So we have 2 regular season weekends left, right? So next
I
weekend,
hate that.
Yeah. So next weekend's
How could it be over?
I
so
know
quickly?
it's crazy. So next weekend's the big rivalry weekend. Gophers versus our rivals from the East. And then this weekend, just a little bit different, right? But there's a lot of really important games in terms of seeing who's going to get into the college football playoff and, of course, into their conference championship. So the 2 big games on slate really are USC is 8-2, and they're at Oregon, number 8. That's where College Game Day is going. And I think right now what is the point spread, Meat Sauce? Is it 10.5, Oregon?
Yeah, 10.5. Yeah.
So it's one of those games. I think it's a lot of points in this game. But USC, which is kind of, they're 8-2. People think a USC win and then they'd beat UCLA next week would get into the college football playoff, which probably happens. And an Oregon loss would probably keep Oregon out, and Oregon it would finish roughly 10-2. So it's if you're it's gonna be fun for me to watch. If you think of the Big Ten and the official, I think I think they're going to get some home calls at Oregon, but it's a game on paper. It looks to be an Oregon W, but I think the reason why Oregon wins, I think Oregon's a bit better in the trenches than USC.
Can I say something real quick? Just make an observation.
Yeah, sure.
And this is not a shot at anybody. I'm just making an observation about the dichotomy in college football. If a team like Oregon doesn't make the college football playoffs, and they're that much better than the Gophers. How far away are we? I mean, my goodness.
I feel like in 2025, I feel like we're further away than I believed at the beginning of the season. I think here's the good news is it can all change in a matter of moments.
Yeah, right.
And I think I've talked to Guardsy about this a little bit. I talked to Andy Greeter from the Pioneer Press last week at the airport flying back from Portland. I think the difference right now is when you look at our recruitment of the portal and the impact of the portal on the program, I think we've missed. And I think if you look at the top teams in college football, they've sprinkled in a lot of impact players that are from the portal. It's immediate fixes. And so that great news is we can go make those immediate fixes, but I would start in the trenches. That's where I think we've probably lost the most. I think if I look at that offensive line, we took kids in the portal that aren't even playing, right? So we missed. And you can't miss in the portal. You have to go get
left.
Yeah.
Like, look who left us.
Well, we got 2 guys that start for top 15 programs.
Well, Howard's going to be a first-round pick.
Right.
The duck?
Yeah.
No, the tackle
Who's
that transferred to Ohio State.
Daniels.
Daniels, sorry.
So
But he's
Daniels.
insane.
So we have Daniels, who's a starting tackle at Ohio State, and we have Cade O'Connell, who's a starting guard at Vanderbilt. So 2 guys.
Kevin's son, yeah.
So it's a bummer. I mean, so you got to be better. We got to be better in our evaluation of the portal. And I would start in the trenches, Hawk, because I think if you. It does you no good when you have elite skill players if you can't block and shed blocks on the defensive side. So that's the biggest thing of when people ask me like, God, we seem far away, and I do think right now we're far away, but it can change fast.
Immediately. Think of that.
It can
Think of like Indiana 3 years ago.
And guys, it's not. There's plenty of funding here. It's the revenue sharing is there. It's about your evaluation of the portal. And I love what Kurt Signetti does.
Exactly.
Kurt gets production, not potential. Production is a kid that's in the MAC that shows that he can produce at a college football level. He's got a lot of catches. He's got yards after the catch. He's an efficient passer.
Well, it's kind of like we did with Brosmer, right?
Totally.
He was super productive where he was.
Go ahead, Saucy.
And the other thing, though, and I'm not, as Hawk said, I'm not trying to be mean. This is going to sound mean. You can't look uncompetitive on the road. You just can't go into every road situation and lay an absolute egg.
Yeah.
That doesn't help.
It's not, and I think, those games could have been played at Huntington Bank, and honestly, I think the score could have been very similar. You can't be that uncompetitive with conference opponents. I mean, I don't care if they're, and again, Ohio State you might talk yourself into that because they're pretty darn elite, but
it's the Iowa one.
It's the Iowa that kills you.
Even Oregon, we get it. But
it's the Iowa Oregon that frustrate me is just. And even last week, I told Katie, I guess we needed another week to prepare for Oregon. You had 2 weeks to prepare in a.
It didn't matter. It didn't matter if it was the one game of the year.
It's the opening, but you have to you have to have a game. It's a coaches, players, or scheme, and in right now it's kind of a lot of everything. And I think first and foremost, you got to show a level of preparation and execution that's better. The missed tackles last week, was the guy in for the touchdown after he broke 15 tackles? No, I don't think that was a touchdown. He was awarded a touchdown, but don't miss 15 tackles.
Yeah.
Flash, do you think in Drake Lindsey's career with the University of Minnesota, at some point he'll be a top 10 quarterback in the country? Is he good enough to ascend to that level?
I think he is. I think, but
how quickly?
He only gets there if he's got everything around him. And that's where I get super concerned with the offensive line. The offensive line right now isn't going to get him to be a top 10 quarterback.
Where do you think he is now, by the way?
He's probably
top
30. Yeah, I think he's probably top 30.
Okay.
But he is different. I mean, you've seen bits and pieces, but a lot of it's going to be what's around him. We're going to talk about the Prep Bowl a little bit today. When you watch the 6A state championship game tomorrow, Moorhead versus Edina. Moorhead has a wide receiver. He was at Ohio State last week. There's talent even in this state that would help Drake Lindsey, right? So you got to get the line around him to give him time, and then you got to get the playmakers that can create separation and not drop footballs.
How do they handle the portal right now at the Gophers? Because it sounds like it's different at a lot of different places. Do they actually have a GM?
Yeah.
Is there somebody that is like the quote unquote GM?
Well, the GM is handling more of the revenue sharing and NIL, a little bit NIL.
So who's scouting and evaluating? There's the coaching staff, or
there's separate people in the staff.
That's a separate department.
Yeah, just like a recruiting staff. So there's recruiting people. You have right now. They actually have 3 parts of it. You have someone that's out, who's leading the efforts with high schools, which is still part of it. I will say, I think any college coach in the country would tell you it's a less of their focus than it used to be. What PJ's done this month is he's actually hit the junior colleges really hard, and he got 3 kids, I think 3, that are pretty elite. One is a top wide receiver in junior college football, which I think that's a good thing to focus on. And then you have someone focusing on the portal. And the portal's a tough one because you don't really know who's in yet.
Right. You don't know who's interested.
Well, yeah. In the next 3 weeks, we're going to see kids jump into the portal, and it's such a quick dating game because they jump in and that thing's open for about 3 weeks and then it closes. And so your evaluation has to be quick and I talked to Max Brosmer's dad when he came to the Gophers. He said, Justin, we opened up the portal. In 90 minutes, we had been contacted by 50 schools.
Whoa.
50 schools?
5-0.
So then you have to whittle that down to say what fits us best. They came out here early because they felt it was a good fit, but it was a really strong evaluation of each other. Like, what does Minnesota have for Max? What does Max have for Minnesota? And he fell in love with it. But he had other programs similar to Minnesota, I think like a Virginia Tech, a Pittsburgh, that were also interested. So you have to be right, and that's my issue. When you have cornerbacks and offensive line that came from the portal that you gave a lot of revenue sharing money to, and they're sitting on scout team, you missed in the portal.
That's the hardest part.
And you can't do that. Not here.
Yeah,
you have to,
the portal players have to be starters.
They have to be. They're to their typical window of eligibilities of like a couple years.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, we got a break. We got to go to Hy-Vee with Grenard, and then we'll come right back. Is that okay? Everybody cool?
Good.
Can you stick around, Flash,
Sure.
or what?
Yeah, sure.
All right, right on. Tommy, you got to go or not?
No, I can stay one more.
You ready?
He can stay too.
Okay, good.
Time now for the Vikings Report, presented by Hy-Vee, the official grocery partner of the Minnesota Vikings. Linebacker Jonathan Grenard joins the power trip next, thanks to Hy-Vee.
KFAN and the
You okay?
Oh, man.
All right. Oh, no.
okay. He's
Did he
dying.
pass?
Is he choking?
Hello.
Hi.
There we go. Join KFAN's Corey Cove this Friday at B52's in Lakeville for Coors Light Hockey Night. Drop by starting at 6 o'clock to catch Minnesota take on Pittsburgh. Enjoy ice-cold Coors Light specials and play trivia for your chance to win great prizes, including sweet tickets to a game in January. Get the full details now. KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
Do you guys realize we missed Mussman's birthday this week?
Oof.
We did?
Yeah.
70?
I don't know how old he is.
60.
His liver's 70.
Wow.
But
1,000.
he was sick, so he didn't make it in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah, we love you, Mr. Mussman. You're the best in the
Happy
world.
belated, Mussy.
Love you, brother.
Are you going to this thing on Friday night? For the
Tomorrow,
Wild?
yeah.
Oh, really?
Tomorrow's in Lakeville, B52.
What time will that be?
I
It's at 6
got to
o'clock.
check.
It's at
6?
6.
6 to 8?
Yeah, I
do
think the
some trivia,
promos
man.
just said 6
o'clock. And then you'll be watching on one of the TVs will have Moorhead, 8-4 at Edina. State championship, 8-4.
Oh, that's not your
us.
squad.
That's our squad.
Would you
squad.
stop it?
Yeah, that's my squad.
Who wins and why?
I don't know. I've never seen him play.
This you guys have to watch this game because it's going to be an entertaining game. I'm helping out Chris Long on the sideline for Channel 45.
Cool.
I would say two of the best
Wow, how'd they
quarterbacks
get
in the
him?
state. So you have Mason West, who is
Howie's son?
He's just willing his team to the state championship. I mean, they've won the last 3 games: Minnetonka, Eden Prairie, and Forest Lake by a combined 4 points.
Wow.
Which is crazy, right?
Which team is that again?
This is Edina.
That's the kid,
Yeah, our
the hockey
squad.
player,
That's
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny. We did an interview with the Moorhead coach this week, and Moorhead is the state defending champion in hockey, and he goes, the cool thing about Mason West is how many kids of that caliber of a hockey player would actually play football. Because in this state, if you're an elite hockey player, by freshman year, you're like, yeah, football's done. I'm going to focus on hockey. So when he said that, and we repeated that to the Edina coach, he goes, we have 4 starting football players that are starters on the hockey team.
Wow.
What?
Yeah. And as Ben said when we walked in, he goes, it's because Mason West has built the expectation, right?
Yeah, my guess is that when you're stud athlete who's Michigan State bound and drafted in the first round by the Blackhawks, if he's like, no, I'm committed to this football team and I want to play, and he's been very vocal about that, then like Chase Bjerregaard, who's the starting goalie and running back.
What?
I'm sure he's also like, well, if he's going to play, I'm going to play. And then if the other 2 guys that start on the hockey team, like if those guys are going to play, then I'm going to play. And let's finish this thing out. Like, let's win a state title. They were so close 2 years ago.
Yeah.
They can pull it off this year.
So this will be a shootout. This is the team that has the football last will win. And I forget the score when they played like about a month ago. I think it was like 50 to 49.
Really?
This game will have that type of offense, and both coaches have said it's not really about stopping the other team. It's trying to roughly contain them. But Mason West, a great quarterback for Edina, senior NHL draft pick. Moorhead has a kid named Jet Feeney Jr., Division I quarterback. People say he's probably the best quarterback in the state.
He's only a junior?
He's only a junior. And he has a wide receiver, David Mack, who is the top, they say maybe one of the top 5 receivers in the country, who Ohio State is trying to likely have him join them. So that game will be an amazing game. I'm going to take my kind of hometown Moorhead Spuds to win that one.
Yeah.
And then before that, if you remember, we had a Gopher recruit who was choosing between Minnesota and Alabama in the recruiting process. And of course, he took Minnesota. So Roman Voss from Jackson County Central.
Let's go.
Is right before that game. 6'4", probably 240, and moves like a wide receiver.
That's a huge.
I'm sorry, what position does he play?
Everything.
Oh, wow.
I think the coach, he's been starting since 8th grade, and I believe they said he has over 10,000 career yards.
Hold on.
What?
You're allowed to start high school football in
You
8th grade?
are, yes.
Wow.
Jackson County Central, 4:00 kick on Channel 45. So
Goodness sakes.
That'll be
there's
That's
your,
awesome.
there's your high school lineup.
Dude, that's really
So
cool.
are we just straight up Edina Moorhead?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Good. $25.
Yeah, we're in.
So if you are keeping track at home, and I know a lot of people are, technically then, in this very episode of the Power Trip Morning Show, we have discussed betting on the death of 15 horses at Santa Anita. Now we are betting on high school
Congrats,
sports.
Austin.
I turned my
on our
myself.
squad.
Gambling on the death of animals and high school athletics. This is the Power
My
Trip Morning
squad.
Show.
Well, of course, we always do bet on college football. So Ben and I struggle, Hawk, because we said this week was kind of a little bit of a garbage week, but we love to turn on the TV Saturday and watch a bunch of games. And so we went back and forth, actually kind of this morning. And I'm going to take a game that has a lot of implications. So we're going to take, Ben is taking Oklahoma, coming off a ginormous upset at Alabama. He has Oklahoma, I think it's -7.5. He's taking Oklahoma.
Ooh.
I'm taking Missouri, who has a game time decision on their starting quarterback. If it's their experienced quarterback, I'm feeling great.
Yeah.
If it's not, they put back in a true freshman. And so I'm taking a 7-3 Missouri team plus 7.5.
Yeah, it's 7.5. Yep.
There you go, Power. And so go Tigers.
Go Sooners.
Man, oh man.
And then the Gopher game, I think the Gopher game's a tricky one. I think both teams are.
Oh, they play this weekend?
The Gophers actually go to Wrigley Field. Tommy's on his way. And
He's better off driving.
he probably, I mean, he's not going to make it, is he? There's no way. But anyways,
I don't think
He's
so.
basically landing in Indiana.
yeah.
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Thanks,
I know,
Coach.
dude.
And so again, people are probably wondering why Wrigley Field. Northwestern's in the process of building this amazing stadium, and I think it opens up next season. So they've been out of their stadium for a couple years. They have a on their campus. They have kind of a temporary stadium. It's a little bit like a high school stadium that they've played a lot of games in. But when the Cubs are done playing, they go downtown and play at Wrigley Field. So that's why the games are this week. Last week they played Michigan there. They did everything they could to try to win that game. They lost in a last-second field goal. But these are two teams pretty similar. If you look at all the stats, Minnesota's offense is number 126 out of 134 teams in the country in total offense. Northwestern's a little bit better at 105. Defensively, both teams ranked kind of in that top 40 in terms of total defense. You can think of the field conditions, the home field advantage maybe kind of favor Northwestern. That's why I think Northwestern's -3.5. But I'm going to go with my hometown team here. And I think Minnesota's going to find a way, and they kind of need to show that you can win on the road. And so I'm going to take my Golden Gophers 20, Wildcats 17.
Interesting.
Wow.
Interesting.
But you're going to have to find a way to stop a really good running attack of Northwestern. And then, just like Corey said earlier, I think we're going to see our boy Drake Lindsay come of age and get a lot more Darius Taylor. That run defense is good for Northwestern, but not nearly as good as Oregon. So Darius is healthy again. Get the running game going, finding some balance. But it's going to be a great football game.
Another Minnesota quarterback just developing right before our eyes, guys.
That's what we do here, apparently.
Yeah. Look out.
Justin, thanks for your time.
I love
man.
you guys.
Love you, Fargo.
See ya,
Happy
Flash.
Thanksgiving, brother. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
See you in 2 weeks. Vikings news in a second with Ben Leber, former Vikings linebacker, right after this on the KFAN.
All
right, so we're not quite sure. It smells like the building's on fire, but I don't know. There's no alarm going off, so I think we're fine.
I think we're fine.
It's cool.
I think it takes a while for the electrical fires to actually register with the smoke alarms.
Good.
Good. Yeah. Because it's not like smoky. It just has that electrical fire smell. I think we're fine.
Every
Smelled
time
like
we
that for like an hour and a half.
Every time we have one of these, well, I don't know. Every time we have one of these conversations, I always think like, let's say the building started on fire and we were all trapped on this end of the building and all burned to our deaths. This audio would live in infamy. It would be, remember when the Power Trip Morning Show jokes about the electrical fire smell and then the whole building burned to the ground and they all died?
It was like that Great White bit.
Sure. They thought it was so funny at 7:43 in the morning, and then it happened.
So what would it take for us to throw a chair through that window and actually go out the window?
That wouldn't
Like we
work.
would have,
No,
you'd
with
have to
double
have
pain.
like
It's triple pain.
Ben's strong. He can get a chair through this
I'd like
window.
to see him try.
Yeah, you really would like
It's
to.
life and
double
death.
dog dare me or what?
It's life and death, Zachary. He's going to throw you through that window.
Mark him down for 2.
For the
This is where we need Star.
for the bit, do you think we could do it? I mean, do you think they would just?
Aren't we about to change some things up?
I think so.
Change some things up.
Yeah.
Good timing. All right, let's finish up a bit from an hour ago.
Is it Vikings news?
No, but we'll get to that in a second. This is more important.
Okay.
Let's see how much you sound like Joe
yeah.
Pesci from Home Alone. Because Heathcliff, Elizabeth Reese's youngest, right?
Youngest, yeah.
Youngest
Franklin's
says
the middle.
that
Yep.
you sound exactly like Joe Pesci from Home Alone. Let's see if we can hear Chris Hockey's voice in this.
What's wrong with you? Why do you do that? I told you not to do it. No, tomorrow, egghead. Now.
Got
Go
great
ahead.
scene.
I mean, right now it looks like there's nobody home. Last night the place is jumping. Something ain't right.
Great.
I mean,
I can hear that.
Yeah.
that last one
Yeah,
for
play
sure.
the last one.
Because you do, like, there's times that you kind of half whisper talk and
I mean, right now it looks like there's nobody home. Last night the place is jumping. Something ain't right.
I hear it now.
Yeah.
Something-
I get it.
Something ain't right.
can hear it.
Something ain't right.
Sounds to me like church.
Brilliant.
Last night it looked like there was nobody home. Something ain't right.
What's wrong with you? Why do you do that? I told you not to do it.
What's wrong with you? Why do you do that? I told you not to do it.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
He's onto
Yeah,
something.
he is onto
Tomorrow,
something.
egghead.
Same thing.
Now. Go ahead.
He calls you egghead all the time.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, there he's
You
mad.
mother.
Yeah, see?
Man.
Say it.
I remember that famous line from Home Alone.
Yeah.
That's great.
All right.
All right, I'll take it.
Yeah, I think Keithy's onto something. Yeah,
think so.
it's in there a little bit. You got
What?
You got a little Pesci in you.
Can you ask Elizabeth if he did, or if she did name him after the cat? Is it a family name or something? Where does it come from?
forget where
It
she
can't
got
be
it from.
cat related.
It can't be
I
after
cannot-
the
no,
Cosby
it's
Show.
not.
That's a brilliant name, though. I thought you were doing the Rosie bit.
after the Cosby Show.
What? Oh.
His name was Heathcliff Huxtable.
Huxtable, sure.
Yeah.
Well, how old is he? Like five-ish?
He's 5. Yeah.
So he was born after the Cosby stuff came out.
Sure.
Because that's one of those things, if you name him after Dr. Huxtable like 15 years ago, you might be like, let's go with Heathcliff. And then all the Cosby news comes out and you're like, son of a bitch.
Damn it. It's the
Dang it.
cat. It's the cat. It's
Yeah, exactly. I love animated cats. Sure. Let's hope it's not Cosby related.
I doubt
For
it.
Vikings news on the Power Trip, presented by
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
One last thing, Twin Cities Live related.
Yeah.
Elizabeth says a lot, especially you guys talked about the Garbage Pail Kids last week, that all these things that she was not allowed to do as a kid growing up.
Correct.
Right? That her household, her dad's a pastor or something.
Yes.
So it was a very like religious, like let's keep it clean. She lets her kids listen to the Power Trip morning show. What is she doing?
That is Jay. I think that's Jay.
Nice. Thank you, Jay.
Thanks,
Thanks, Jay.
Yeah,
See, Jay gets it.
I think that is mostly Jay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Teach them well and let them lead the way.
So he gets all
Let's go.
Jay gets all the credit.
Yeah,
Thank
smart.
you, Jay.
Classic Jay.
Those kids are going to absolutely blend right into society perfectly. All right, Vikings news.
All right, Ben, here's the question for you.
Okay, what's the question?
Okay, because I'm going to play you some audio from J.J. McCarthy talking to the press yesterday. Did you hear any of that by any chance?
I saw some stuff on social media, yes, but I did not listen to it come out of his mouth.
I find it interesting, and I have questions that are not critical. They're just questions.
Sure.
I want to get that out of the way right away. Okay? You understand where I'm coming from?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Here he talks about his quarterback journey.
Coming in here, I was taught how to play quarterback in a very different way, and that's expected going into the league, going into any new team, any new system. But at the end of the day, it was really just the injuries that I felt like, kind of took away all those reps and the constant repetition to make those a habit and make them concrete like KO talks about. I feel like, it's just the repetitions. How many times could I go home and every time I take the dogs out, I'm getting, 10 drops each time. Little things like that where you just keep building the reps.
Okay, what do you need to work on most?
My posture, the way that I'm processing the defense in terms of I know what I'm getting, but let the rhythm of the play out. Don't be getting to that answer too quick because, it's a timing and rhythm of the concepts and the defenses. And just decision making, just understanding, the situation of the game, not just the concept that I'm trying to execute. Understand, like for instance, that first pick last game. It's 4 minutes going into half. We're on our own side of the territory and just understand, what that risk factor should be and go from there. So I'd say those things.
Do you believe the coaching staff, specifically KO and the quarterback coach, help me out, McCown?
Yeah, Josh.
Yep. Do you believe they spend a lot of their time walking the fine line between letting the kid be a football player and teaching him how to be the football player they want?
It's a great question because it's one that I was thinking about myself on the way home from the game last week. Was just, I think this happens with a lot of players and specifically gets magnified when you talk about quarterbacks because there is so much fundamental and technique and mechanics built into what they do. You don't want to make a quarterback mechanical. I think that is the worst thing that you can do for a player. Is in any player, if you make them so formulaic, it's the thing that we hated about Kirk Cousins, but it's also the thing that made him specifically great. And I was a big fan of what Kirk could do because he could rip it and he could throw it like no other. But when you're a young quarterback and sounds like they're trying to build this thing from ground zero, you don't want the guy to walk up to the line, not only have to process what's going on in front of him with the defense, help set the blocking protections, maybe change the play, and then as he receives the football, then it's like, okay, 1, 2, 3. How's my right foot? How's my arm angle here? Do you really want any player to be thinking about that? No, you want the player to be playing fast, and I think that's what he's talking about as far as making everything concrete. When you make your habits and you make your fundamentals and your mechanics concrete, you no longer have to think about it. It is what it is. And I do think with him having a lower body injury last year that prohibited him from having a lot of those reps in practice, in game-like situations, it's taken a much longer for those things to become concrete. But I love your question because I think it's 100% valid. It is, how do you in the course of a season, in real life bullets on Sundays, get a player to play free and fast, which is the best way to play instinctful, but yet smart, all the while working on your mechanics? I think it's a very difficult thing to do.
We saw that last year with the Gophers, right? When they basically said it took a couple of games for the coaching staff to just let Brosmer go. Just let him go. Like, let's let the harness is off, just let him go. And obviously the numbers got better and better and better. We got 7 games left. Right? Do they just unleash him and say, like, look, we got nothing to lose now. We got to let the kid try. What do you do differently against the Packers than you've done the last 5 starts with JJ? What do you let him, quote, do and let him go? How do you do that?
I mean,
different play calls or like, how do you, I don't know. What do you do?
So I wonder if, because it sounds like Ryan Kelly was a full participant yesterday.
Yes, he was.
Yes, he was, yeah.
If that remains to be true all the way through the week where he has no setbacks and he's your starting center, not to say Blake Brandel didn't do a great job from the mental side of it. I thought he played really well in his absence. But maybe part of it is taking a little bit off of his plate pre-snap. I don't know how you necessarily do that, but because the quarterback is so important with this type of system. But I do think that there is a way, because people were asking me, like, how can we get him to play like he does in 2 minute more for the rest of the game? Well, what happens in 2 minute is there's less checks at the line. The defense is not disguising and doing things differently because they just have to get set up and ready to go. And they have to make sure that they're in the right place because the ball's getting snapped much quicker, right? So that's why a lot of people are like, well, why can't we just do 2-minute offense all the time? Well, it is predicated by what the defense is doing as well. So the reason why a lot of quarterbacks play faster and the offenses are more efficient is because the defense is not allowed to do the things that they're allowed to do. They become much more static and you get a much cleaner read on what they're trying to do. So if you can get that from a mentality standpoint where you don't have to necessarily overthink what the defense is going to do, just let the guys go out there and win their routes and do whatever. And don't try to always put us in the perfect play. Just play the play. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, don't make a poor decision in a situation, try to force the ball in there. Just take the easy win, take the easy check down. Maybe that's the answer. And maybe having a guy like Ryan Kelly, who's a super vet that's really smart, have him handle some of the protection, have all the protection stuff. You call it out. You're close enough to the line. You'll understand what the protection is and where the guys are going to go. The running backs are going to understand where they're supposed to go. You just handle what happens post-snap. Maybe not so much the pre-snap stuff. I don't know. That's a knee-jerk reaction and answer to like how you can get him to play a little faster.
Check this out. I heard Gessling say in his podcast on my way in this morning that one of the things that they're hoping for, or they were hoping for when it came to the center coming in as such a veteran, is he could be the guy in the huddle that looks at J.J. McCarthy and goes, calm the freak down. This is just football. You know how to do this. And that's one of the reasons they brought him in, because that's the kind of presence he is. Do you buy that at all?
Sure, I buy that. I think at this point in time, you guys like Brian O'Neill should be saying that as well. Like, he's been around enough players to understand, like, he's got that status. He's a leader on the team. Justin Jefferson should be saying that. Aaron Jones,
he did, by the way.
Aaron Jones should be saying that. Like, these guys, you don't just walk in as a second-year guy, and just because you are becoming a leader in the team, that you automatically assume that you're untouchable. I mean, these guys should be coaching this kid up and be like, hey, man, calm down. Take a deep breath. Get out of your headspace and just play football.
Super dumb question, because both of these are good answers, but I want to know, as a player, which game would you prefer to see McCarthy have? He's had an interception, an interception or more in every game he's played, right? Mm-hmm. 1, 2, 1, 2, and 2. Against the Packers on Sunday, option A is, let's say he throws for like 220, a touchdown, and no interceptions. Or does something like Jacoby Brissett. Now, that's the extreme, but let's say he throws for like 370 and 3 touchdowns, but has a pick or 2, maybe even 2. Would you rather see him light it up and move up and down the field but make a couple of mistakes, or would you rather see one really clean game?
No, I want to see kind of like the way we saw him in Detroit. I want to see efficiency. I want to see him ripping throws in there, as long as he doesn't throw an interception. If he has 0 turnovers, we win this game. 0. And the thing is, our defense, we talk about it every single week. Why can't we take the ball away? Well, it's a factor of this and a factor of that, and sometimes it's just luck. And you got to create your own luck, but we got to do that without playing out of our minds and out of our responsibilities and all this other stuff. So, like, if the defense is not taking the ball away, well, we can't give the ball away. So I would rather take 220, a touchdown, and 0 picks.
Just a clean game.
Yeah. Just a clean game.
And maybe I wonder if that would be your answer if he hadn't consistently been a turnover machine, because I don't care if you're Patrick Mahomes, right? Brett Favre's the all-time example, but you need your quarterback to gamble. You can't always wait for the safe play, right? You got to throw 50-50 balls once in a while. But when you're running as cold as McCarthy is, 50-50 balls feel desperate, right? Mm-hmm. But ultimately, to be a winner, you got to gamble once in a while. You got to give your receivers a chance, but maybe not at the point where McCarthy is.
Well, the touchdown that he threw into the end zone, or the interception he threw in the end zone, I know that's critical situation, can't give the ball away there. I almost can live with that one more than the one where he tried to force, the ball sort of on that over route where he didn't see the safety coming down and playing that flat. I'm like, dude, that's a very common coverage that you're going to see all the time. Like, you have to understand that just because CJ Ham was in the flat, it doesn't mean that guy's going to go down there and snug up on him. Like, he's going to see a fullback in the flat and he's going to disregard. That's a check down. Like, why would he? So you have to expect that just because the guy looks like he's going to be open, this is a zone coverage where there's supposed to be somebody there roaming that area. So that one was the one that I was like, ooh, boy, like that was a really bad read. The one to Addison in the end zone is like, all right, he just didn't get enough on it. He's got to learn how to put, if you're going to err on the side of caution, you got to, put that ball in the back of the end zone and don't throw it short. Okay, I'll live with that, even though it was more of a dire situation.
Thank you.
But it's the misread on some of these like cover three, like, just basic coverage things.
Dumbest trivia question you're going to hear on sports talk radio across the country today.
Wow.
Dumbest.
Okay. Wow. Hey, Pee-wee.
Who has the best quarterback rating for the Vikings this season?
It's the running back.
Yeah. Akers?
Cam Akers. 158.3. Perfect passer rating. 1 for 1 with a touchdown.
Thank you.
How about out of the other three? Rank them 1, 2, and 3. Just passer rating alone. 1, 2, and 3.
Brosmer, Wentz, McCarthy?
How many passes has Brosmer
He hasn't thrown one, has
He's
he?
thrown 8.
In a game?
Really?
Yeah.
He has?
Yeah, the game that Wentz, remember the final
the Chargers
game? The one that Wentz should have been pulled earlier?
Yeah, the Chargers game.
Yeah.
He threw passes?
He actually threw.
Yeah, he's 5 for 8 this year.
Okay, well, then I'll put him number 1, then I'll put Wentz number 2, and then I'll put JJ third.
Yeah, JJ is third. Wentz is number 1 with 85.8. Brosmer's at a 76, and McCarthy's 61.7. Yikes.
Isn't
Yikes.
JJ's the worst in the league?
Yeah.
I thought
Except
it was,
for Sanders.
Shadur,
but Sanders has thrown, 16 passes.
Yeah. He's starting this weekend.
He sure is. You're welcome, Ryan.
So I know that there were a lot of miscues in this last game with McCarthy, but I will go back to say that, again, if we had, 6 dropped passes? 7?
Yeah, they didn't help him at all.
No, they did not help him at all.
No.
So
that sucked.
We would look at his performance, even though he threw 2 interceptions, we would look at his performance much differently if they only had dropped maybe one of those, especially the one to Addison.
He was 16 to 32. That's bad. If he's supposed to be more like 21 to 32, that's better.
That's better.
We'll take that. I mean, that's better than 16. Sure.
I mean, the thing is, like, I understand that when it's bad, it's bad. Like, when he misses, it's like, what happened there? Like, how do you not hit the broadside of a barn when JJ's on coming out of his break and you throw it 3 feet short or 6 feet over his head? Like, it's not even close. So I'm not saying that there's not some criticism there, but the receiver's got to help him out too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fan 5 when we come back. A couple of things we haven't talked about at all, including Netflix and barbecuing.
And the Wolves win. We haven't mentioned them at all. Have we?
Like once.
Okay.
Yeah, like once. There's the Wizards. Tom Pelissero in like 20 minutes as well. This is the Power Trip Morning Show on the Fan.
The Fan.